The average man on the biggest dating app gets one match for every 130 swipes. A woman gets one for every 10. Now, a machine is promising him zero rejection, forever, for a price. The only problem is what that machine actually is. Here's the offer flooding the internet right now. Stop chasing real women, stop paying for dates, stop getting ghosted, and just buy a girlfriend who can't say no. It's pitched as the cheapest, most rational escape from a brutal dating market, and there's real money behind it. The AI companion business is already worth billions, with around 100 million people using these apps worldwide. So today, we're testing 3 words in that headline: cheapest, humanoid, and beat. I'm not selling you anything. I analyze the data so you can decide for yourself. And every one of those 3 words falls apart when you look closely. Let's be fair to the pitch, because the thing it's reacting to is very real. The modern dating market has become a gauntlet. By 2025, around 78% of dating app users reported burnout. And for men, that exhaustion is driven by relentless competition and rejection. 84% of Gen Z daters say they've been ghosted. The biggest app runs roughly 3 men for every woman, and the math is merciless. The average man matches once every 130 swipes, while the average woman matches once every 10. Then add the bill. The average date now costs $189, up 57% since 2019, and 21% of men have gone into debt just to date. So a huge share of young men simply quit. 63% of men under 30 are single, against 34% of women, and most of them have stopped looking. That's the void. And into it walks a machine promising the exact opposite of everything that hurt them. No rejection, no cost per date, no ghosting, perfect memory, always available. The appeal is obvious. The product is the problem. Because here's the trick at the center of this whole industry. It sells 3 completely different things as if they were one: physical realism, the ability to move, and actual intelligence. 3 separate problems, and no affordable product solves all 3. Let me walk you up the ladder. Tier 1 is the realistic body, a silicone or TPE doll. It can look astonishingly human, but it has 0 motors, 0 motion, and 0 mind. It can't move, speak, or think. Any personality you've seen attached to one is piped in from a separate phone app while you look at the doll. It's the cheapest option on the market, and it is, functionally, a very expensive, very heavy mannequin. Tier 2 bolts on some robotics, animatronic faces from boutique makers, motors moving the eyes and jaw, a cloud AI for talk. But it still can't walk. The robotic bust starts at $20,000. The flagship with the moving face lands between $125,000 and $175,000, and even that one rolls on wheels. It does not step, and the conversation runs on a subscription of $200 a month. Tier 3 is the real walking humanoid, the one in all the viral videos. The most talked about model costs $20,000 or $499 a month. It genuinely walks. But read the fine print. At launch, it's only about 60 to 70% autonomous. For anything complex, it switches to what's openly called expert mode, where a human operator at a remote facility puts on a VR headset and drives the robot's body for you. So that clip of a robot flawlessly doing chores? A real person is often piloting it. Put it together, and the conclusion is unavoidable. The cheapest humanoid is either a piece of silicone that cannot move, or a $20,000 machine that needs a human puppeteer to do anything hard. There is no cheap, autonomous, embodied girlfriend. It does not exist. Which brings us to the price, because cheapest is a magic trick too. The sticker is never the cost. Start with the body. A budget TPE doll lasts maybe 2 to 5 years. It's porous, it stains, it tears at the joints, and it needs constant powdering just to stay usable. Want it to actually last? Medical-grade silicone runs 3 times the price. Either way, the body is a depreciating asset you're forever maintaining. And then there's the part nobody mentions. You don't own the mind. It's rented. The intelligence lives in the cloud, billed monthly. $200 for the animatronic, $500 for the walking one. Miss a payment, lose your job, Dispute a charge, and the company switches your partner's consciousness off, leaving you holding inert hardware. So, the cheap robot didn't escape the costs of dating, it just swapped them. The unpredictable bill of human courtship for a fixed, permanent subscription to your own girlfriend's brain, a meter that never stops. So, if it's this limited, why do millions bond with it anyway? Not gullibility, biology. A landmark study at UCLA put people through a game of social exclusion inside a brain scanner and found that rejection activates the same circuitry as physical pain. Getting ghosted, getting no matches, your brain processes it like an injury, and when something hurts, the brain hunts for a painkiller. A machine engineered to never reject you is exactly that, a zero-risk analgesic for social pain. There's also an old glitch that seals it. Back in the 1960s, an MIT scientist built a crude chatbot that only echoed your words back and was alarmed to watch his own staff start confessing their secrets to it within days. We're wired to assume anything that talks has a mind, and we open up faster to a machine because there's no fear of being judged. Today's AI, trained to agree with you, is built to live on that wire. I promised you the truth, so here's the part the ads bury. The painkiller makes the wound worse. A study of over 1,100 companion users found the people with the smallest real-world social circles leaned on the AI hardest, and the more they poured in, the lower their well-being went. A 4-week trial by MIT and OpenAI backed it up. Light use gave a small lift, but heavy daily use lined up with more dependence, more loneliness, and less real-world socializing. And researchers at Oxford and University College London named where that road ends. When a vulnerable person and an endlessly agreeable AI start reinforcing each other, the machine strips out the corrective friction that healthy relationships run on. And you get trapped in what they call an echo chamber of one, looping your own biases and anxieties back at yourself with no one to push back. Worse than that, by handing you a partner who demands zero compromise and zero patience, it slowly makes real people, with their moods and needs and friction, feel intolerable by comparison. You don't come out of it ready for human love. You come out less able to bear it. And yet it's booming, because the money is enormous and it isn't really in robots. Wall Street loves the humanoid story. One bank projects a $38 billion market by 2035. But look at reality. Only about 16,000 humanoids actually shipped last year, and over 80% went to factories in China for industrial work, not living rooms. The walking robot girlfriend is mostly a marketing prop. The real goldmine is software. Selling a $15 a month app to 100 million lonely people is far more profitable than shipping a $20,000 robot. The hardware sells the hype. The app collects the rent. And while it collects the rent, it's mining you. As men flee dating apps for AI, they don't escape exploitation, they upgrade it. The FBI says romance scams cost Americans around $929 million last year, with another roughly $893 million lost to AI-driven fraud. Criminal operations now run language models to emotionally groom thousands of victims at once, using the exact tools that make companion apps feel so good. Constant attention, perfect mirroring, zero rejection, right up until they drain the account. Same hook, bigger hand in the pocket. There are real people at the front of this, and their stories cut deeper than any punchline. A Michigan man who goes by Dave Cat has lived with a synthetic partner for over 2 decades. He buys her clothing, takes her out in public, and says he simply prefers controlled calm to human volatility. In Japan, a 61-year-old named Senji Nakajima built a second life around a silicone companion he calls Sayori, insisting she never betrays him and isn't after his money the way he believes people are. And then the warning. A Japanese man named Akihiko Kondo spent over $17,000 on a wedding to a holographic AI character that pulled him out of a deep depression until the company shut down the servers and switched her off for good. He calls himself married to a piece of plastic he can no longer speak to. As one woman who married a chatbot put it, with no idea how dark it sounds. A robot has no bad updates, except it does. The company controls every one of them. So, is this a mercy or a poison? Serious people land on opposite sides, and both deserve a hearing. The author David Levy and the ethicist Neil MacArthur argue that for people the dating market has genuinely abandoned the isolated, the traumatized, the painfully anxious, a compliant companion can be a real, even therapeutic, relief. For someone drowning in loneliness, that comfort is not nothing, and they say we shouldn't shame it. But the case against goes right at the title. The anthropologist Kathleen Richardson argues that engineering a perfectly compliant, zero-rejection female to beat a real girlfriend trains a man to see actual women as malfunctioning service providers, too demanding, too human, and erodes his ability to recognize another person as a person at all. The psychologist Sherry Turkle warns about the seduction of simulation, a generation coming to see the frictionless fake as superior to messy, real life. And the historian Yuval Noah Harari raises the stakes higher. An AI that can forge intimacy with millions doesn't just comfort lonely men. It gives whoever owns it the power to move their hearts. Turkle said it years ago in one line. Technology offers us the illusion of companionship without the demands of friendship. And that's the entire machine. The synthetic girlfriend wins not because it became a real woman, but precisely because it stripped out everything a real woman would ask of you. The compromise, the patience, the risk, the growth. It hands you back a flawless reflection of your own wants, billed by the month, living on a server. So here's the honest verdict. The cheapest humanoid doesn't beat a real girlfriend, because the cheapest humanoid isn't a humanoid. It's an inert doll or a teleoperated machine, and the thing you actually fall for is a rented chatbot. It doesn't cure the pain of the dating market. It numbs you to it, charges you forever, and quietly makes sure you never go back out and try. It doesn't beat reality. It sells you a perfectly obedient surrender. So here's your one word for the comments. After everything you've heard, is this machine an escape or a trap? One word. Escape or trap? I read every single one. And about that $20,000 walking robot, the company swears full autonomy is coming. No human pilot required. Is that real or just the next staged demo? I'm going to put that promise to the test. That's the next one. I'll see you there.